Good evening, Pathlight Thrive Hive people. Hope you're well on this Monday evening. I've come out for a walk and I've been thinking about judgment and how we judge ourselves and we judge others and we judge the world, life. And I think I'll just turn the camera around so you can see the view that I can see. So I might judge this as a beautiful view. You can see lovely skies, and over in the distance there you can see Manchester. So you might judge that as a lovely view yourself, or you might prefer different views. Anyway, we all have views, don't we? So judgment. I think I'm increasingly noticing when I place judgments on things, whether that be myself, other people, the wider world, the experience of being alive, what's going on in the world at the moment, all those challenges. And I think judgment can create separation. It can polarize people or groups of people. It can create negativity and rigidity. We can get stuck in our views of saying something is good or something is bad and not be open to other ideas or other interpretations. And it can be really limiting as well, self-limiting, limiting others, limiting our experience of the world. So I have 3 questions for you to ponder. And the question number 1 is, how do you judge yourself? So what do you tell yourself? What are the scripts that you may have adopted from your parents or your childhood or your peers or right now? You know, how are you seeing and judging yourself? Maybe you tell yourself things like, I can't write, or I can't run, or I can't sing or play a guitar, I can't do maths, I'm not very good at my job. All those value judgments which can be very negative and very limiting. And maybe they go as deep as saying, you tell yourself that you're a bad person or a bad partner or a bad parent. I know I've been there myself many times. And underneath that maybe are these really deeply held beliefs where you judge yourself to be not good enough. You're not deserving of love or not deserving of success. So all of that stuff can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you make those negative judgments about yourself, you may end up limiting yourself and having very negative consequences for your mental health, your emotional well-being, your spiritual well-being, and really limiting what we can do in the world with these lives that have been gifted to us. So that's the invitation of question 1, just to think about, how do you judge yourself? What are those things that you tell yourself? And just maybe become aware of that and maybe see if you can change some of that negativity. So the second question is around others. How do you judge others? Do you find yourself criticising, judging, blaming, separating yourself from other people because they have different views to you, they're not as talented as you, they're not on the same path or have the same values, whatever it is? Maybe you see them as wrong or bad or stupid, less than you, worse than you in some way. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you see them as being better than you, superior, and that in itself can create distance, a sense of fear and self-loathing. And Mark Twain says comparison is the thief of joy. So if we're judging others as being better than us, that's not going to be good for our well-being. So that can happen with groups as well. So I think about things like the Black Lives Matter movement and Brexit and political differences, and we might align ourselves with one particular group and then judge the other groups as being bad or wrong or stupid. And that again creates separation, disconnection, polarization, and it's not good for harmony. It's not good for our own well-being, I don't think, and it can set us up for getting into this position of attacking and defending. We might want to defend ourselves, and maybe the best form of doing that we might feel is attacking others for being different to us. helpful, I find, to bring compassion and acceptance to others, whether they're people or groups, and just try and understand what their position might be open to different views, and understanding that, yeah, they might be coming from a place of having a traumatic history or a completely different upbringing, a different lens of looking on the world. So we can allow that awareness to come in, and just appreciate that that's who they are, and try not to judge them for it. Maybe you see yourself as being more spiritually evolved, and those other people don't have the same level of awareness as you, and you might judge them negatively for that. And likewise, again, you know, you might worship some people, idolize some people, and judge them as being more spiritually aware or more whatever it is, better than you. But yeah, all we can do is our best with the tools that we have available, and allow others their level of awareness at that moment in time. And yeah, appreciate the stresses that they might currently be under. So we might judge some behaviour, and then paint that person as bad, or that behaviour as bad. Again, without bringing compassion to whatever might be going on for them right now. They might be incredibly stressed due to work pressures or coronavirus, or, you know, relationship difficulties, whatever's going on for them. So yeah, that's the invitation of the second question, is to try to notice the criticisms, the judgment, the blame that can come in to how we see other people, and just be aware of that, and notice that a lot of the stuff that's underneath that judgment is going to be our own material, rather than the other person or the other group being bad. And then the final question is an invitation just to think about how you judge the world right now. Do you judge the world to be a good place, a bad place, a safe place, a dangerous place? And I was reminded of a parable of the gatekeeper and the travellers, which I will relate to you now, because I think it's quite pertinent to judgment. So a traveller approached, this is probably in medieval times or something, a traveller approached the gatekeeper of a city, and he said, "Hello, gatekeeper, I'm looking for a new city. I've left my old city, and I wonder what it's like here." And the gatekeeper said, "Well, what was it like in your old city?" And the traveller said, "Oh, it was horrible. The people were mean, and the people were cruel, and the city was dirty. There was never anything to do. It was boring. Didn't like it at all. Bad place." So the gatekeeper said, "Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but you'll find the same kind of experience in this city." So the traveller moved on. And a little later, another traveller arrived and said to the gatekeeper, "Hello, gatekeeper. I'm looking for a new city, and I wonder what it's like here." And the gatekeeper again said, "Well, what was it like in your old city?" And the second traveller said, "Oh, it was wonderful. The people were so kind. It was a city full of joy and creativity and laughter and opportunity. Wonderful place. I was very sad to leave." And the gatekeeper said, "Well, you'll find this city is pretty much the same experience offered here." And that's it. So really, you know, it's just a nice little parable that shows you, it illustrates for me that the world is what we make it. So our sense of judgment on the world, ourselves and others are really self-fulfilling prophecies of how we judge our experience. So yeah, if you find that useful, feel free to comment on any of this. I've just been noticing my own judgment of late, and what's great is the awareness now that I have. I can notice myself judging much more quickly, and bring in some alternative thoughts and bring some compassion into it. So I've been doing that with all three of those different areas. I've been judging myself, as I've shared recently. I've been thinking I'm a bad person, a bad parent, and limiting myself through those thoughts. I've been judging others. Just the other day I was in a meeting, I'll call it a meeting, and I noticed someone else's behaviours, and I caught myself judging them, thinking, how can they be doing that? It's bad, it's disrespectful, and caught myself doing it, and I thought, okay, yeah, actually, from my perspective, I wouldn't do that, but that's not to say it's bad, and I don't know what's going on for this other person. I've got to accept their level of awareness, I've got to accept their behaviour, because it is as it is. They're different to me, doesn't mean they're bad and I'm good. And that was really highlighted for me by someone else in the meeting who actually poured a lot of praise on this other person for how they were being. They were being very different to me, but they saw the positives in it, and I thought, okay, yeah, that's a much more positive way of being, and a much less judgmental way to approach the world. And with that equanimity, acceptance and compassion can come a lot of connection, because those negative thoughts I was having, those judgmental thoughts I was having, was making me feel angry. And I thought, yeah, well, who's benefiting from this? Nobody. Who's being negatively affected by my judgment? Only me. So I can let go of it and hopefully be more positive in future. So it's good to have the awareness, and for all three of these things, for the self-judgment, have some compassion; for others, release that judgment, have some compassion and understanding; and for the whole world situation, that equanimity. My tip for cultivating all of that acceptance and compassion and non-judgmental attitude is mindfulness. So practicing various meditations. There's lots of stuff you can get for free online. Insight timer is a good one. You can filter by things like equanimity and acceptance and self-compassion. So if you don't already have a mindfulness practice, I'd very much recommend doing so. It's been really helpful for me to just accept things as they are without judgment. And I'm not going to say I'm there yet, because I was doing it the other day, wasn't I? But it is getting better, and I'm finding a lot of freedom and much more connection with myself and others in a non-judgmental way as a result of that. So that is the end of my musings, and I'll just show you one more time this view that I'm enjoying at the moment, whether you deem that to be a good view or a bad view. It's my view, I like it, it's peaceful, and may you enjoy the rest of your evening. If you're a man and you'd like to come and have a natter tomorrow evening, Man Tuesday is going ahead as normal at 6 p.m. on Zoom. The link is on the Hive. And then on Thursday, I'm looking forward to speaking with a young lady about anorexia. She's had a battle with anorexia, and really inspiring tale, but also could be quite harrowing and enlightening. So do join us for that if you can, 8 o'clock on Thursday. Jaffa and Steve are back with Tools for Living Your Life on Friday, book club on Saturday, and then on Sunday, Sing-A-Size, which was great yesterday. I've enjoyed it the past 2 weeks, so do come along to Sing-A-Size and have a good sing-along on Sunday at 7 o'clock. So be well, and may you go with compassion for yourself and others, and equanimity and a lack of judgment, or at least an awareness of when the judgment is coming in. Take care. See you soon. Bye.